Hey folks, a few weeks ago I talked about some things that I feel shouldn't return in Tears of the Kingdom from Breath of the Wild. A recovering of a past video actually. That was pretty well received on both occasions and got me thinking, what else could I discuss in this sort of way? And then it hit me. I've been discussing things that shouldn't return and looking at the negatives. So why not discuss some things that I feel should return in Tears of the Kingdom from Breath of the Wild? A view on the positives. The same idea, but flipped around. So today, let's go over 5 things that I feel should return in the highly anticipated sequel. But first, be sure to go and grab yourself a snack or drink and send them in to get featured right here. And also be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out. And let's get into this one. Firstly, the new champions. Whilst they may not be officially champions in the time frame of Breath of the Wild and are just there to assist us in entering each divine beast, the descendants and close friends of the fallen champions could, and should, in my opinion, be brought back to play the role of new champions. That would be Sidon, Yunobo, Riju, and Teba. Hyrule will likely begin some form of repair in the early stages of the game, Zelda going around each settlement and spreading the news of Calamity Ganon's sealing. In Breath of the Wild, the champions were chosen to pilot the divine beasts. Whilst that won't be necessary in this game, they could still be given important roles, such as being at the front of certain repairs to the kingdom, even just a variety of side quests from them, helping out with their repairs to the kingdom in their respective region. Then further into the actual story of the game, they are given their own full spotlight and could assist us with entering some new dungeons exclusive to their respective regions. But this time around, instead of one little quest to enter the beast, or in this case dungeon, we have new quests to locate these long forgotten dungeons in each of their regions, working with the new champions to do so, tracking down lost information, exploring the unexplored, and eventually finding, say, an ancient lakebed temple, the forgotten ruins of the Arbiter's grounds, a deep scalding hot dungeon within Death Mountain, and maybe even a long lost sky temple originating from the Rito. Obviously, that is all extremely speculative and not confirmed at all, but it's a general idea for how the new champions could become more involved in the sequel. Personally, I'd love for them to get their own little ceremony as well, and officially be recognised as the second generation of champions, leading Hyrule into a greater future. Or so we thought. Next up, the Sheikah Tech Labs. Let me preface this by saying that I loved the labs in Breath of the Wild. They were awesome and served a cool purpose each. However, I feel like their full potential hasn't been reached and that they could be explored much further in the sequel. I honestly feel like they deserve more spotlight and side quests, possibly even main quests. For example, the Akkala lab has a huge telescope outside. How cool would it be if this was used to tie into the Sky Islands in Tears of the Kingdom? A means of research prior to Link exploring them, or maybe during his explorations. Maybe Robbie knew of the islands prior and is the one who explains a lot of their history to us. Who knows? Just generally, this lab should be involved in regards to the Skylands. Maybe even whatever is going on at Death Mountain as well. Both of those locations, the Skylands and Death Mountain, would be so easy and awesome to tie into the Akkala lab, and give us a reason to work with Robbie again. Rock and roll, baby. As for the Hateno Tech Lab, I feel that Pura is more than handy with little gizmos and gadgets. Perhaps we visit her later in the story whenever we receive these little pods seen on Link's hip. Maybe she'll want to do research on them, or even explain to us what they are and do. Just generally speaking, I would love for the two tech labs to return in the sequel, and both be given new quests and activities around the new setting and situation in the sequel. Plus, I want to see Robbie rocking his air guitar again, and Pura saying her catchphrase, snap, once again. Another thing that I believe should be brought back is the voice acting. Being in cutscenes only. I don't think that voice acting would be introduced in the full open game, but I just want to emphasize my point with this. I feel that the voice acting in Breath of the Wild was done really well in terms of it being exclusive to cutscenes. It had a really nice dynamic to it. I honestly feel that if we heard full-on voice acting whilst casually exploring Hyrule or doing a quest, that It'd feel weird and out of place for Zelda games. It was a big and bold move to introduce it in cutscenes in the first place, but I feel it worked very well. Some opinions of fans regarding the quality aside, the general format was done very well, and I'd like to see that aspect return. Side note, I cannot wait to potentially hear Ganondorf for the first time. But yeah, I'd like to see voice acting return as it was in Breath of the Wild. Before getting to the actual final pick on the list, I want to sneak in and dedicate this spot to one thing that means a lot to me personally from a non-Breath of the Wild game that I feel should return. If you know me enough, this should be obvious. A fishing rod and fishing dedicated pond. I love fishing in Zelda games, especially Twilight Princess, and would love for that kind of fishing to be brought back. It was such an awesome escape from the actual game, and you could also do it on the go anywhere in the world. I'd love for that to return, as well as a loch or pond specifically for fishing somewhere in the game. I know that is very unlikely to happen, especially given that we will be in the same kingdom, but I can dream. Plus, any reason to mention and talk up the fishing from Twilight Princess is a valid reason. Maybe someday the fishing mechanics will return. Last of all for this video, something that I feel should return in the sequel is Mipha, Daruk, and Urbosa, the champions of Hyrule. Oh, and Revali. Fine, the salty chicken wing can come too. Alright, in all seriousness, I would love a heartfelt, emotional return for them in the spiritual bodies we saw them in at the very end of Breath of the Wild. Perhaps in the sky, which appears to be taking on a very spiritual vibe and appearance. Not necessarily playing a big role in the game, maybe just advising us around the Skylands or sending us on little quests up here. Just generally appearing would be really cool. I think that it would be so cool to see them all at peace up there, including the king. After they all vanished at the end of Breath of the Wild, it would be pretty emotional to see them all once again. Heck, who knows, maybe there'd be some sort of unforeseeable way to bring them back. That would be something. Those are some things that I feel should return in Tears of the Kingdom from Breath of the Wild. I felt that this video was necessary to even out the odds of looking at the negatives. Breath of the Wild is an amazing game, and a lot of what it did right should return. These were some of the key things that I personally felt should return, either because they were so damn good, or because I feel that they could be explored further. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know what you think down below in the comments, some things you'd like to see return, and your thoughts on my picks. Be sure to drop a wee like down below if you enjoyed, and also consider subscribing for more fabulous Zelda content. Both would make my day. Follow my socials linked below to keep up to date, and as always, a huge, massive, amazing shout out goes to all of my channel supporters, with a very special thanks to new member, Jeha. Thanks a ton. Your support really helps me to make these videos week in, week out, all month long, 365 days a year. If you'd like to join them and get yourself a shout upon joining and your name at the end of every video, then consider supporting via the links below. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have an amazing day or night, and until the next time, I've been Hyrule Gamer.